Welcome back, everyone. I'm Leila.
And I'm Laura.
And this is For Your Penjoyment, a show about fountain pens and the joys they bring us.
Brought to you by Pen Boutique.
So how are you doing today, Laura?
Aha! I've got a huge list prepared.
I'm impressed. Go for it.
Stan told me to do this.
Stan is
just
a wise
to surprise
man.
you.
Hi, Stan.
Except, I don't think I want to talk about any of these things
Of
on my
course
list,
not.
So I'm going to rip it up and stomp on it.
It was a good idea while it lasted.
I've been sort of tired lately. Pollen's getting to me. And I got really obsessed with my latest blog, so I got
you definitely tunnel visioned on that one.
Over the top with that, but I don't know. I'm here.
I'm glad.
I slept until 2 again.
I'm impressed.
I needed the sleep.
A little jealous as well.
Yeah, so I don't know. We've got a lot of exciting things that I'm really looking forward to, but you told me not to talk about them during this part, so I'll hold off.
I would like to adhere to some show format.
All right. How about you?
I'm doing pretty well. And then this is where I crash.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're leaving it at that. I'm doing well.
Yeah.
So, what pen are you using today?
Well, I have a repeat pen. I've got my friendship pen again because I put a new ink that I'm really excited about that we're going to talk about later in this pen. And I've been writing with it, and I really like it.
I'm excited to hear
beautiful.
about it. Yes. Well, I am using a new pen.
Ooh.
It was gifted to me this morning.
That's right. Wow.
It is an Aurora Optima.
It's gorgeous.
It is gorgeous.
I love how,
it's so happy.
It's happy, and it's also kind of passionate, like it looks like the blazing sun or, something like that.
You're starting to get me with the colors.
After our discussion last week,
Yes.
I think I understand now. Yeah.
And it's such a dream to write with.
It's beautiful.
I matched it with an ink, a Jacques Herbin ink. The name I can't pronounce.
Okay.
Amber de Baltique, I do believe it is.
Okay.
I thought it was a good match for the pen. I'm happy. It's a good writer.
It's elegant, though.
I know. And I never expected to own an Aurora, but since it was gifted to me,
It's beautiful. I
don't
own one
it.
yet. I would love to own an Aurora, and I don't yet. But
it was a
it's
gorgeous gift,
beautiful.
and I'm forever grateful.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Let's talk about some events going on in the store.
That's the thing I wanted to talk about. But you told me not to.
Do you want to go for the first one, or shall I?
What's the first one? The Vaccaro one?
That's right.
You could do that one.
Sounds good to me. This coming Thursday through Saturday, April 25th through 27th, we're having a Kaweco DIY event. So we're getting some materials from Kaweco to build your own Berry Kaweco Sport.
Yeah.
You can do that in store. We're going to have nib sizes fine through broad. Nothing more, nothing
and
less.
we're going to have these 2 press machines.
We're going to have these 2 press machines
I
that will
think
assemble
is
the
what
pen.
they use in the factory in Nuremberg, Germany,
That's
where they
right.
build these pens. So we're going to pretend we're factory workers.
It's pretty exciting.
It is. I mean, that's really cool to make your own pen. And then every time you use that pen, you can remember, hey, I actually assembled this pen.
Exactly. And the berry color is not available for retail.
Right.
It's
and
specific to the event.
It says right on the side, Kaweco DIY. It's very cool. I mean, that's so unique.
That's
and
really
you can
neat.
only do it in brick and mortar stores.
Exactly.
So that's pretty cool.
So come join us the 25th through the 27th. We will be happy to have you. Would you like to talk about the next one?
Next one. Aha, yes, I would. The next one is Gary.
Would you like to elaborate on
Gary from Pelican. It will be here this Saturday. And I can't wait to see him. He's doing a store event with us. And
He'll be here 10 to 3:30.
that's right.
It is overlapping with the Kaweco event.
But they're both German brands, so I think they'll get along okay.
We can have an official German festival going on that day.
Do you think we should serve bratwurst and beer or something?
If we could get a food truck outside of Pen Boutique to do just that,
I think
I'd be
should
excited.
dress up in one of those traditional German.
Some lederhosen.
No, like the women wear,
Yeah.
like the frilly. I think you'd look good in that.
I might look good. I might come off as more of a barmaid than anything.
All right.
I'll have my Stein ready. Next up on our event calendar, we're going to have Bill from Pilot.
Yes.
Very excited.
Very looking forward to that, too.
That's happening May 18th. And then last, but certainly not least,
one.
Go ahead.
Kirk Spear, the famous Nibmeister who you've seen on our show.
That's right.
Will be back with us on May 30th to June 1st. That's 3 days.
3 days of Nibmeisting.
I know.
To sign up for an appointment, you want to go to the Pen Realm website. I'll post the link below. You want to click on Services, then Upcoming Events. You'll scroll to the date of our event, and then click Appointment Sign Up.
Ooh.
That's the best way to go about
Very
booking
nice.
with Kirk. And then finally, before we get into new products,
More?
we have a friend who transitioned to a different role recently.
Yes, that's right.
Mr. Carey from Kenro,
Yes.
also known as Mr. Fountain Pen Day.
Yes, he was the first rep that I ever met shortly after I started working here.
Yeah.
And he's a really nice guy. He's probably the rep who's visited our store the most.
I'd say so.
And he's done a lot of events with us. You may have met him either at our store or at a pen show. He always represents Estabrook at pen shows. And he
Yes.
does the after dark events. He's a really wonderful guy.
He is going to Truffet in South
Yes.
Carolina. He just moved. And Carrie, we wish you nothing but the best.
We absolutely do. We hope you have lots of joy in your new adventure. We will miss you very much.
Absolutely.
Thank you for everything.
Keep us in mind.
Yes. Hopefully we'll see him around at pen shows. and
I would
stuff.
love to. I hope so.
Yeah.
May our paths cross
I
again.
hope so.
So, let's talk about some new products in store.
I was like super distracted for a second there. New products. All right.
I'm kind of excited about this one because by now we all know my penchant for sparkly things.
Yes.
We've got a new Sailor release.
And you like Sailor a lot.
I certainly do. We
Okay.
have
See this?
the 2024 Pen of the Year.
Wow.
The color is called Celestial Gray.
It's sparkly.
Which is very appropriate.
It's very sparkly and moody.
Very sparkly and moody, much in my wheelhouse. It comes in both Pro Gear and Pro Gear Slim sizes. So I'm very excited about this release. It's such a cutie.
So it's like, what's the name of the color?
Celestial Gray.
Celestial gray.
Which is fitting.
Yeah, it's very spacey.
Yes, definitely.
Looking.
Which will tie into our silly
yes,
segment
it will.
later.
Yes, it's like a very dark night sky that we practically never could see nowadays. But yes,
Light pollution being
full
light
of
pollution.
stars. Wow,
Yeah.
those are really pretty.
I love them.
Wow, very nice.
Next up, I have available today for pre-order the new TWSBI Cafe with Bronze Trim.
Huh.
It's a TWSBI Eco. You know, the model we've all come to know and
I
love.
like that trim color.
It's a beautiful milky latte color.
It reminds me of a caramel that you chew on.
Yeah.
And I really like them.
I get that. Yes,
Yes,
definitely.
It looks delicious.
And the bronze trim just sets it off in the right way. It's a beautiful pen. And, you know, TWSBIs for me are so consistent. Like, this is going to be a joy to write with, much like my other TWSBIs.
I really like the trim color they picked. That's really
It was a good
nice.
decision.
Yeah.
So it's available for pre-order today, the 24th. It will be in store for sale the 26th. So if you're curious, come out, check it out in person. We'd be happy to have you.
This looks kind of more sophisticated than most E-codes, I think. With
I
this
agree.
color combo.
The color combo is really
It's quite
classy.
nice, yeah.
And then last up on my list is
Ooh.
something very fancy. I got a
Yes,
limited
yes,
edition
it
for
is.
you. I've got the Visconti Il Magnifico in Calcutta Gold.
Kind of similar colors to TWSBI, but about a million times fancier.
A million times fancier. There's only
beautiful.
188 of these made.
Wow.
It's made out of Carrara marble barrel, yellow gold plated accents, and it's got the Visconti power filling system.
And the fleur-de-lis
And
symbol all over
the fleur-de-lis all over it,
Really
as well as the
pretty.
nib. It's beautiful.
And the box is gorgeous. Show them the top of the box. It's really
You want me to show
pretty.
you them the top
Yeah,
of the
yeah,
box?
yeah. I love the box. It matches the pen.
Oh,
So pretty.
It's just very opulent.
Yeah.
I love
That's
that.
the perfect word for it. Yeah.
Definitely.
I love the creamy color to it. It's really nice.
I mean, they have some other marble pens.
Yeah, but this
but
is
the
different.
gold sets it off.
Yeah, I really like it.
Really stands
It's
out.
really pretty.
A beautiful addition to the limited edition Visconti collection. Now, what do you have?
Me.
You.
Wow. I've got a new Pelican.
Of course.
I've really been looking forward to this pen. It's the Copper Rose Gold M200.
You know, it looks so much better in person than it did in the promotional photos.
It's
Like,
so pretty.
the copper is beautiful. The rose gold just sets it off even more.
Have you seen it outside in the sunlight?
The sparkle on
I
that.
couldn't believe it. I took it outside and it
Yeah.
was like shadowy in one spot, sunny in another.
Completely
When
night
I
and day.
walked into the sun, I honestly just about fell over. It was so intense. It was amazing.
Excellent.
So this pen was supposed to come out last year, but it was delayed because they wanted it to be perfect before they released
Hey,
it.
and it gave it time to build up the hype.
It was worth the wait.
Absolutely.
I really love it. I really want one. It's so pretty.
I can see you owning that pen.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I
very
think
you.
So. I think so. Even though it's sparkly.
A little sparkle never
Kind
hurt
of a
anybody.
different kind of sparkly, though.
Exactly. It's not like hardcore glittery.
No.
It's got a subtle sparkle to it.
Yeah. And I love coppery colors, so yeah, I've really been looking forward to this one. Yeah.
What else do you have in your shelf?
More Pelicans!
Of course.
I've got a new ink from Pelican.
Ooh.
I've got the Pelican Edelstein Ink of the Year.
Very nice.
Golden
The
Lapis.
long-awaited ink of the
Yes,
year.
And it is a beautiful, like, azure blue color
Yeah.
with gold sparkle. Kind of like the Golden Barrel, but with a
Right.
blue base.
And, you know, the sparkle's not too intense,
Well,
but it writes beautifully. The sparkle definitely comes through.
So that's the ink that I put in this pen.
Ooh.
Because I wanted to try it in a real pen.
Yeah.
And I was talking to Gary, and he told me I should try it in a fine.
That makes me nervous.
He had it in a medium. And
Okay.
he's been loving it in his medium Pelican.
Okay.
So I was like,
And pelicans are generally wet writers,
Right.
so I can see
I
that.
was quite scared, but I put it in this fine point of Caran d'Ache.
Right.
And yeah, it's been writing really well. And I like the way it looks in the finer nib, even though it's a little scary.
Right.
Because it's more concentrated, so
Yeah.
it's a darker blue. And I really like the way that looks. And I don't know if you can see it in this lighting, but the way it writes is so cool because you get, like, it looks blue at first glance, and then you tilt it around, and you get, like, blue and gold at the same time.
Oh, that's
Which
nice.
really resembles the stone that it's inspired by. It's
Exactly.
like this constantly changing mix of the gold and blue.
Yeah,
it's
your
really
writing
cool.
sample, I appreciate it much more than the swatch.
Yeah. Oh, I wanted to show.
Please show the splat.
Here's a splat.
Oh.
It's like very intense. Lots of gold.
I love
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
I'm going to
It's
give you your
beautiful.
notebook back.
Very cool.
And then...
And then, so this is a weird story. We finally have the Pelican 4000. What's it called?
4001.
4001 is a number. Blue black.
We've been waiting for this for a while.
Yeah, so this is an ink that was really popular, but they thought that there was an ingredient in it that wasn't allowed in the U.S. So it was discontinued in the U.S. 10 years ago, and people couldn't get it, and they were smuggling it in from Europe.
Of all the things to smuggle.
So Gary and the team at Charpac researched, and I was like, okay, is this really true that this ingredient's not allowed?
Right.
And they found out, no, that's not even true. So he brought it back to the U.S.
Thank you, Gary.
So we got it back, and it actually came out like late last year, but we didn't get it until this week. So
Hey, but now we have it.
when I walked into the store and saw it, I was just like, wow!
That's how I felt when we unpacked it. I was
Yeah.
surprised.
So I'm very excited. And I knew about this ink because when Gary was here in December doing an event with us, he told us, like, it's his favorite color.
Right.
And he, you know, was bringing it back and all this stuff. So
He definitely hyped it up.
I remembered it. And when I saw that, I was like, wow, I can't believe it. So, yeah, blue black. Cool. And this is a pretty permanent ink.
Ooh.
Like, you can get it wet and it washes away a little bit, but it stays quite well.
That is very good to know.
Yeah, yeah.
You've got one more ink on your list, don't you?
It's not a pelican, but it is quite beautiful. And the box is really beautiful. It's the new Gustav Klimt ink from Montblanc that matches the pen.
Yes, the Masters of Art series.
And I also put this in a pen to try it.
Yeah.
And it's really, really pretty. I put it in my Diplomat Elox, which is a really wet writer. And it's beautiful. It's got a lot of shading. I'll show a sample of it later. I have a swatch right here. Oh, here's my swatch of the Pelican Blue Black. I'll show that.
Don't let the depth of this blue scare you. It is nothing like the blue black.
Yeah, all three of these blues are totally different, which is interesting. Yeah,
it's a blue heavy episode.
It is. It is. Yeah, they're all beautiful in different ways. They're all really cool colors.
I love it.
Yeah. So, and it's writing really, really well in the pen I put it in. It's
as Montblanc inks tend to do.
Total pleasure to use.
Very nice.
Yeah.
I love it.
Oh, these nice new inks. I actually kept having dreams about ink.
You would.
Last week. Like, I was tired because I felt like I wasn't sleeping well enough.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't, like, resting. I was constantly dreaming about ink all night long.
Sometimes I have pen dreams. I get it. I mean, we're inundated with this stuff every day. We're going to dream about it.
Thing to dream about, but
I mean, inky, wavy.
Need a little downtime.
I hear you.
Yeah.
Well, that's it for new products.
Hey, pen friends. Leila here, just with an editor's note. We failed to mention that we also received the Montblanc Masters of Art homage to Gustav Klimt. We have the fountain pen, the roller ball, and the ink. We are still waiting on the notebooks. The pen itself draws inspiration from a variety of Klimt's works, but if you look at the clip, the details in the clip are specifically inspired by his painting of Athena. I think that's pretty cool.
Well, that's an exciting amount of new products we got.
As usual.
As usual. So we had a visitor today before recording. We actually got to meet our new Lamy rep.
Yes.
Mr. Anthony Vaccaro.
He was incredibly nice.
He was super nice.
Now I don't feel so bad about our former rep retiring.
Right. I mean, we're going to miss John.
We are.
Totally. But Anthony's a character.
Yes.
Tony, rather. Tony's a character.
He was wonderful.
Yeah.
He really was.
So we got the chance to do an interview with him, and I'd love to share that with you folks. So let's cut to that. Hey, everyone. So I've got Mr. Tony Vaccaro from Lamy here today. How are you doing today, Tony?
Very well, very well. Thank you for having me.
Excellent. Thank you for being here. So I want to get to know you. We've just met for the first time today. You came in, and I was notified you are our new Lamy rep.
Yes.
Very nice. Big question. Were you a pen person before joining the field, or did the field make you a pen person?
It really made me a bigger pen person.
Very
I've
nice.
always been a pen person, but this was just a whole new level of like, wow. Yeah. I came from the Garmento world, so I was always with color and fashion and flair, but this really gave me a writing flair. So so having fun. So with Lamy, I have been actually, this is the first time we've met, but I've actually been here with Lena starting back in 2017.
Excellent.
So Mr. John Ryan was our main man.
Right.
And since he was doing such a great job, no one else had to bother coming down and visiting you folks. But he went on to bigger and better things, I think.
That's right.
Yep. So
Understood.
Here I am, back in the saddle again.
Very good. Can you tell the viewer about your background, when you came to Lamy, what that experience has been like?
Sure. Getting out of the apparel industry was a big move for me because I'd been in there the entire career.
Sure.
And we decided to make a make a change, a couple of friends and I. And in 2017, the distributorship for Lamy came up, and we were graciously given that opportunity, and we had a good start with opening up our Soho flagship store, which we are still in the same location in New York City, and then we opened up also a San Francisco flagship on Market Street, downtown San Francisco, and we just rolled out probably close to 500 independent stores now. We were in the 250 or so when we first took it over in 2017, and now it's grown to close to 500 independent retailers across the country.
Very nice.
So yeah, growing.
So you were in the garment industry before coming to Pens.
Yeah.
Can you tell me what experience from that you were able to draw on to transfer over?
I am going to say a buyer is a buyer is a buyer.
Fair.
And I grew up being a buyer in the industry, and then sales took over as I went into more of merchandising, design, and production. So then I had to learn how to put that sales hat on and sell anything that I was manufacturing or merchandising. And I feel that that's pretty much the same when you're selling product to buyers or to the end user. You kind of have to put that that selling hat on and schmooze the product that you're dealing with. So
Understood.
So whether it's schmatas or pens.
So I want you to schmooze me a little bit. I
go.
want to know from you, what do you think sets Lamy apart from other pen manufacturers?
Well, let's see. We do come in with a nice, solid selling price point at retail. So I think we have a nice advantage there with a great product at a real reasonable selling price, out-the-door selling price for the consumer. And our go-to pen, as everyone knows, and I just happen to have a few here, is our Safari. And we just came out just a month and a half ago or so.
Right.
Someone doesn't want to come out with our
Violet Blackberry. Yes.
Exactly. With a little two-tone color this time. The first time Lamy has actually introduced this.
I thought that was an interesting move.
Yeah,
really. That was pretty cool.
give some, freshen it up, keep it fresh. This in ABS plastic, which is indestructible because they make the same Lego blocks uses the same ABS plastic.
That I didn't know.
Yeah, so if you've ever stepped on one, you know they're
I'm
indestructible.
sure the pen hurts less to step on.
Yeah, I
though,
think so. Yeah, it is a little more rollable, I guess.
Right, exactly.
you roll off of that.
Conforms to the foot a little
Exactly. Yeah, so that's our go-to, and I think that's kind of where our sweet spot is. Obviously, we sell kind of a lot of these, and then you're moving into this $10 retail higher into our All-Star, which we just introduced once again with the two-tone color and picking up as the translucent is usually in a smoky color. Now we're picking up the aqua color, and then also you can see it a little clear here, the fiery color. And of course we have that in our fountain pen.
Absolutely. The Safari was my first fountain pen, so I have a deep sentimental attachment to it.
Yeah,
Yes.
I
It's
hear
the
that
gateway
a
pen
lot.
for a lot of people.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, here's something that's been burning on my mind.
Uh-oh.
How has Lamy been since the Uniball acquisition?
Wow, you're getting right to it. Actually, it's kind of like nothing really happening right now. Not quite.
Right.
It's been very status quo.
Very
No change on our end.
No rocking of the boat.
No. We have our deliveries have been on time, which is critical for me. I do not want phone calls from where's my product. No,
Exactly.
that's been steady. Steady as a rock.
Very good.
I'm sure there may be some synergies there, which hopefully we can both play off of.
Right.
But nothing really status quo right now. Things haven't.
No, that's great.
Yeah.
Because I know a big part of that acquisition was Mitsubishi's commitment to keeping things in Germany,
Right.
keeping things steady.
Right.
Like, I know that was big for Lamy when making that deal. So I'm very
So-
happy to
yeah,
hear that.
yeah. I think they noticed that they're in the gel pen business, and we're in a lot of other areas that they thought were quite appealing to them, especially in the mid price range with the Safaris and the All Stars, and then even more the modern price points of the studios.
Very good.
So I think there's a nice balance there where we don't have gel pens
That's right.
and they don't have our pens. So there could be, I
Yeah.
think that's where the nice marriage came to play.
I love it. I've got one last question for you.
Sure.
How do you envision the future of Lamy, and what can we see from Lamy in the future?
Well, we do have a pretty cool collaboration coming down the block. Yeah. So that's going to be pretty interesting. There's definitely some bigger and better things in the works that I've never seen in 7 going on the 8th year here. So this is, it's going to be pretty exciting.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I think so. And then with, of course, the collaborating partnership with Mitsubishi now. I mean, there's probably a whole new level of items that we've never thought of yet that they're going to bring to the table. So I
Sure.
think there'll be some newness there as well.
Very
So I'm anxious to
exciting.
hear because it's been a little over a couple of months now. This is all, so I think we'll probably start to see some new communications and
Yes.
some new ideas coming from both parties. So,
I love to hear it.
yeah, good
Very
stuff,
cool.
right?
Well, thank you for joining me today.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. I just love it when reps come onto the show, get a little insider information. Makes me happy.
Oh, good.
So thank you for being here.
My pleasure. Nice seeing you.
Nice seeing you as well.
Thank you.
So,
Yes.
before we get into today's silly segment,
Okay.
I want to talk about the last episodes,
The poetry one.
the poetry one.
Uh-huh.
Your poem was interesting.
Yeah, I intended it to just be silly, but then I ended up really thinking about how I felt about some different kinds of nibs when I was writing that poem.
Yeah, I got that sense, and it related to your blog this week.
Right, yeah, because I was working on the blog, and it ended up taking quite a while to finish that blog because it was such an interesting and in-depth topic.
Right.
So we
Yeah.
wanted to talk about a little bit today, too.
Exactly.
Yes.
For those of you who haven't read Laura's blog yet, I'm going to link it down below. Laura did a deep dive into the flex nibs that Pilot offers.
Except they don't call them flex nibs.
Very good. So let's talk about that for a second.
Yeah.
Pilot does not market these particular nibs as flex nibs.
Right. So when I talk about them, I refer to them as flexible nibs. Pilot calls their pens soft.
Okay.
They don't call them flex nibs.
Okay, that's good to know. So for these flexible nibs,
Yes.
what pens did you pick out for this particular blog?
Okay, so I focused on the pen called the Pilot Falcon, which has a really unique nib that's only found on that one pen.
Sure.
But there's no special name for the nib. It's just the pen is called a Falcon.
Got it.
And it's got this really interesting nib that's kind of a little bit hooded shaped
Uh-huh.
and triangular, and it kind of resembles a falcon's beak. Now there's another nib, this is very confusing,
Right.
which is available on the Custom Heritage 912 and the Custom 743,
Right.
which is called the Falcon nib.
That is confusing.
But it's a completely different shape
Right.
than the one that's on the pen called the Falcon.
Okay. Can you talk about the difference in the shape? So the falcon pen
Yes,
resembles the beak of a falcon.
correct.
What attributes does the falcon nib?
So the Falcon nib has these little semicircles cut out of each side that allow it to be very flexible, much more flexible than the one on the Falcon pen. They're both flexible.
Right.
But the Falcon nib, also abbreviated FA, so you'll look on the nib and it says FA, is quite flexible, as modern fountain pens go.
Sure.
And it's really unique looking. It's got these little cuts out of the side, and that allows it to bend quite a bit when you're using it. So when you're using it to write, if you put a little more pressure into it, now you don't want to do it too much, or you'll spring the nib and it won't bounce back. But as you go on your downstroke, you put a little more pressure into it, and that makes the tines spread. And then the line gets a little bit thicker.
Right.
So it's really cool looking. You get this really beautiful line variation when you write, which really looks fountain penny. And it's really fun.
I was noticing your writing samples in the blog. It really took your handwriting to a different level. It looked very artsy.
Right. Exactly.
I appreciated that about the nib.
So you got, like, if you just press really lightly, when you're writing with a fountain pen, you really shouldn't be pressing. You're just, like, gliding it over the page. So when you do that, you got quite a thin line.
Right.
And then as you put a little bit of pressure into it on the downstroke, the tines spread and it gets dramatically thicker. It's pretty noticeable, and it's really beautiful.
That's really interesting.
But it's something that when you use a nib like this, it takes a little while to get used to it. You can't just pick it up and just start writing. I mean, you can, but you might be a little frustrated unless you take your time and go slowly and kind of get a feel for how to do it.
So what I'm hearing is, if I'm a very fast writer, this might not be the nib for me.
Well, I think the Pilot Falcon would work for you, because that's a little less extreme.
Sure.
Now, and also there's 4 different nib choices for the Falcon.
Okay. So
just like any regular pen, it comes in extra fine, fine, medium, and broad. I mean, not every pen comes in all the sizes, and the experience of each one is actually quite different. So, you got an extra fine, which is very fine. And then my favorite one is the fine, because that one you see the most line variation in comparing when you're just writing without flexing, and then it gets thicker.
Gotcha.
So that's pretty dramatic. You notice the difference a lot. And then as you go up to the medium, it feels more smooth, and it's really fun to write with, but the line variation's not quite as extreme. And then the broad, not that much line variation, a little bit, but it's like really bouncy feeling. It really feels enjoyable to write with. So you probably like maybe a medium or a broad. They're really fun to write with.
Interesting. Yeah, medium and broad are definitely in my wheelhouse. I'll have to consider that.
But if you're heavy-handed or if you write really fast, you might be a little frustrated with the Falcon nib.
Sure.
But if you really want to try something exciting and fun, I mean, these nibs are, I really got excited, really. It was just like, ugh.
So it sounds like the Falcon nib specifically would definitely be an exercise in patience for someone like me.
I think so.
Okay.
You have to take your time and get used to how it works. And, if you go too fast, sometimes you can get railroading, which is where you get, it kind of looks like railroad tracks.
Yeah.
The nib, the feed can't quite keep up with the speed of your writing, so the ink doesn't flow as well.
Okay.
So there'll be little things like this that may happen, but a fountain pen isn't like a computer where you want it to be exactly perfect every time you use it.
And performs the same way.
Right, it's an instrument that, it's
quirky just like we are.
It's quirky, and what I love about these pens is they're really expressive looking when you write with them. You can really express your personality and what you're feeling, and it really comes out in the way that it shows your handwriting, much more than just a regular fountain pen nib. Okay. So it's really thrilling to use. I think I really like it.
I like that endorsement.
Yeah.
Now, did you play with any steel nibs before jumping into the gold one?
I've used them a few. I don't own any steel nibs.
Okay.
I own
steel flex nibs.
Right.
I'm sorry to clarify.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I thought you meant. I don't own any steel flex nibs. I do own the Pilot Falcon. It was actually the second pen that I ever bought,
Yeah.
so I've had one for quite a while. I've used steel ones like in the store when a customer would dip test one, or the other day you were trying a bunch of them.
I was.
And I tried only one of them, the one that was your favorite.
Right.
And that was fun to play with. I enjoyed it, but it's the gold flexible nibs are dramatically more pliant than a steel one.
Sure.
Because steel is just a stiffer material.
Right.
And if you really want that special experience with the more extreme line variation and that feels really expressive to write with, the gold, I feel, is really what you want to go for. But if you're not ready for that, then the steel can be cool too, I think.
Okay.
So you tried a bunch of steel ones, right?
I did. I tried 4 different steel nibs. I tried the steel nib from the Edison Pen Company. From Estabrook, I tried their Flex Fine. I also tried the Opus 88 Flex Extra Fine.
Okay.
And I tried the Monteverde Omniflex.
Oh, yeah. All right, so there are a bunch of steel ones.
There are definitely a bunch of steel options out there if you want to play with that line variation.
The one I tried when you were trying them all was the Edison,
The
right?
Edison, yeah.
Yeah, that one was pretty fun.
I think that one, to me, had the most bounce out of all of them. I really appreciated that. It was fun to play with.
Yeah, but it didn't feel anything like the gold ones, especially the Falcon nib.
Trying the Falcon nib in comparison was a different experience.
Yeah.
Like in Laura's blog, she quoted me as saying, it felt like my brakes were going out.
It's pretty dramatic.
It was pretty dramatic, exactly. Now...
And like I said in my blog,
yeah.
when I quoted you, yeah, but that sounds like it's terrifying and negative, whereas I find using these pens to be exciting and thrilling, more like
a roller coaster.
A roller coaster, right?
Sure. Now, it wasn't a bad experience, don't get me wrong.
I know.
It was just very foreign. The amount of flex.
And most of your pens are steel nibs.
Yes.
You don't have very many gold nib pens.
Just a handful.
So it was even more extreme feeling for you.
Indeed.
Yeah.
For sure.
But I am really, really getting into these Falcon. This one here is my favorite.
The
I
743.
really want this pen now after writing this article. It was hard for me to bring this back to the store. It's like, I kept thinking, like, I don't want to return this pen. I want this pen. Yeah.
I am actually not too familiar with the numbered Pilot pens. So, like, I hear these numbers.
Yes.
They kind of go over my head a little bit.
Yes.
Can you tell me what the difference is in either body or feel, etc., between the 743 and the 912?
Yes. Okay, so the 912 is a custom heritage 912. And the ones that are called heritage, rather than just custom, are this shape. They got the flat top and the bottom and the sword-shaped clip.
Okay, so
whereas
flat
the
finials,
ones that are just custom, no heritage,
cigar shape,
have cigar shape and the ball clip.
Good to know. Okay, that's interesting.
Yes. And the ones that have a 3 on the end instead of a 2, or being a 2-digit number, are a little more high-end. So the 2-digit numbers are the least expensive ones.
Okay.
And then you go up a jump, and it has the 2 on the end. And then you get the 3. And this is because, I hope I remember this properly. This is from my previous blog. When the pens were first released, the ones that are just 2-digit were under 1,000 yen.
Okay.
The ones that had the 2 on the end were about 2,000 yen. The ones with 3 on the end were 3,000 yen.
Interesting.
I hope I got those numbers right. But yeah, so then if you see those numbers, you know, okay.
That's fascinating.
Yeah. So these pens, the main difference in these pens, other than the shape and the color trim, this one has, the platinum trim, this one has the gold trim.
Right.
But the main difference is the size of their nib.
Oh.
So the custom 912 has a number 10 size nib.
Okay.
And the custom 743 has a number 15 size nib.
Oh.
Now, it doesn't look dramatically different. It's maybe about 15% larger.
I mean, it's definitely
It's
noticeably
bigger.
larger,
Yeah.
for sure. But
So-
the cutouts are still the
So
same.
before I compared these two, I had only tried the one on the 912.
Right.
And I assumed that the one on the 743 would be more flexible because it's larger and you
Right.
got more space to flex, right? But that is not the case.
No, that's
I was
interesting.
very surprised. And it's because the one on the 912 is a little bit narrower and the gold that it's made out of is a little bit thinner. Like, you know,
Interesting.
compare
machined more thinly?
Yeah, like think of like a dime versus a nickel.
Sure.
Right? So it's more like the dime. I mean, this is an exaggeration, but because of that, it can bend a little bit more.
Okay.
And when I tried it, I was like, wow,
Yeah.
this is, yeah,
I just played with it and I was like, oh, okay.
it's pretty extreme. So I felt like the Pilot Falcon was one thing, and then it steps up another step, and then
Yeah.
it steps up another step.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, even doodling with it now,
Yeah.
there's definitely a difference.
Yeah, you notice it right away.
Yeah.
But what was weird was when I write slow like that, it's like, yeah, really obvious.
Yeah.
But then when I sort of got into it and wrote kind of more fluidly and larger and just kind of relaxed and did like a stream of consciousness type thing, that difference sort of went away to me. It was weird.
Huh.
I didn't notice it as much.
Okay.
I don't know why, but it did.
So at first use, it's
Yeah, at first use, I
Definitely
was shocked by the difference.
sure.
So it kind of, I don't know, it depends exactly how you're using it, how much
Okay.
you notice the difference.
Interesting.
Yeah. The other thing is, they don't look dramatically different. Like the writing you get out of it isn't like the amount of line variation you see on the page.
Right.
Like one's in a little bit and the other one's huge.
It's very similar.
They look very similar, but they don't feel similar.
Yeah, they behave completely
Yeah.
differently. That's very interesting.
It is. It's really fascinating, actually.
Well, thank you, Laura, for this taking the time to deep dive into these nibs. If you want more information about the pilot nib experience,
Yeah, and like how these two, the nib and the pen, got this super confusing name.
yes, the history of
I
things.
explain this in my blog, how this ended up happening
Right.
and what the names mean and stuff like that.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I'll link the blog post below. Take some time to check it out. Leave a comment if you are compelled to do so. And again, if the 743 is missing, I'll know who did it.
No.
Thank you, Laura.
Thanks, Leila.
So, Laura, you know, this episode is going to come out before one of my favorite holidays.
I know. Yes, one of mine, too.
It's a beautiful day,
Uh-huh.
positive day.
It's actually the day that we really started to connect, I think, in our friendship.
I think so.
Yes.
I would definitely credit
Yes.
May the 4th
May the 4th.
with the beginning of our friendship for sure.
Yep.
At least the beginning of our creative collaborative endeavors
Yes,
for sure.
I would say so.
So, for those of you who don't know, May the 4th is otherwise known as Star Wars Day. Why? May the 4th be with you. That's
Of course.
why.
Of course.
So, we have scoured the store for pens that remind us of our favorite and not so favorite Star Wars characters.
I was quite impressed by how we were both in agreement about these.
Oh, totally.
It wasn't like we needed to argue at all. We were just like, yep. That one, I agree, you're right. What about this one? Yep, perfect choice.
We did pretty well.
And we have both been Star Wars fans for a really long time. I think
Absolutely.
you're more of a current fan than I am.
I still appreciate the first episodes 4, 5, and 6. Those are the first ones I saw in theater when they did the re-release in the 90s. And I've loved them ever since. I have opinions about the new ones. I'll keep them to myself, though.
But you've seen a bunch of the TV shows.
I certainly have.
And I haven't. I've seen all the movies, I think.
Yeah.
And I was a fan ever since I was, like, a little kid.
And I've seen a lot of the spin-offs on, you know, the Disney Plus app, etc. Yeah.
Okay.
My world has been inundated with Star Wars content.
Right. But we decided to stick with the original series for these choices because it's the most well-known.
You have to have a barometer for these things, and the originals is it for us.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. So I've got them here.
Excellent.
So, who wants to go first?
All right. So for the baddest man of them all in the galaxy, we picked the Lamy Dialogue 3 in piano black.
It kind of matches your nails.
It kind of does. My nails look very galactic right now.
Yeah.
And this pen definitely fits the bill.
That is very cool.
The twist action reminds me of him pulling out the lightsaber, which I do love.
That's true.
And, like, this is kind of Darth Vader looking.
Yeah.
It's very sleek, very, like,
Agreed.
kind of imposing.
Yeah.
Great pen.
Very cool.
I love it. Next up on the list.
Next up, we've got Princess Leia. The minute we saw this pen, we agreed.
That's right.
This is it. This is Leia.
Sleek white. No space buns, unfortunately.
No.
But there's something just classic about it.
Yeah, so not too girly, a little bit cold, but
Exactly.
really competent, beautiful, a princess.
All things Leia is.
Yep.
Next up,
Like this
we've
choice.
got Luke Skywalker. Now, Luke rocks several looks in the
That's true.
first 3 movies.
We
with-
agreed this was kind of our favorite look,
I
right?
think so.
Yeah.
We definitely appreciated his all-black Jedi look.
Yes.
And we commemorated that with the Montblanc Star Walker Ultra Black Resin. You know, it's got the classic Montblanc star on top,
Yeah.
sleek matte black, the perfect pen for our Jedi.
That's right.
That's right.
Next up, we've got... I like this one because it's a pun. Kinda.
Exactly. It's a little on the nose, but let's roll with
For
it.
Han Solo, we've got the pilot metal falcon to go along with the Millennium Falcon.
Exactly. And
In brown.
Yeah.
Because he has the brown vest. And,
Dark
kinda
vest,
looks
brown
like
hat.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's very fitting for Han.
It looks like him.
Yep.
I like this next one. This is
And
really good.
Exactly. You can't have Han without Chewie.
Of course you need to.
So we went with
If you can get it out.
exactly the big boy.
Yeah.
We went with the Pinaider La Grande Belleza in Ancient Materials Carrara Brown. Brown like Chewie.
With the swirly.
The
It looks
swirly.
kind of hairy.
Exactly. I thought it was the
So
perfect counterpart to the Brown Falcon.
It looks great with Han.
Absolutely.
What a team. Very nice.
You've got someone
Ooh,
next.
someone very classy here.
I
We have a
do like
classy
him.
pen for this, for Lando Calrissian.
We liked this pen because the blue matched his cape.
Yes, this is the Graf von Faber-Castell Guilloche Gulf Blue.
It's perfect.
Very, very nice.
Yep.
Very sleek.
I love that
Very
pen.
cool.
Yes.
Just like Lando.
And it's got a sophistication
It
to
does,
it.
yes.
Yes. Now, let's move on to our favorite droids. I've got the Caran d'Ache Ecuador Chevron Gilded for C-3PO.
Perfect color.
Oh dear, exactly. The most anxious robot in the galaxy goes to C-3PO.
Fluent in all those languages.
So many.
Oh, very nice.
And who do you have?
This was one that we spent a long time trying to decide on. This was the most difficult one.
We
for
kind of
us.
agonized over
We
this
did.
one.
We wanted to get it right. And we wanted a short pen for
Of
our
course.
favorite little short droid, R2-D2. So we made our own.
We had our own DIY sesh with the Kavekos.
Yes. So we swapped the white one and the crown blue elite royalty for the body.
That's
to get he's mostly white, but he's got the
blue accents.
The blue accents, and it's cute and
It's
little
perfect
and
for him.
kind of tough and clever, and
Gets it done.
gets it done. Okay.
Now,
I like
to
this
our
one,
Jedi
too.
Masters,
This one just feels so right to me every time I look at it. Yes.
We thought of it. We were very simpatico with this one. For Obi-Wan Kenobi, we've got the Lamy LX in Maroon. And it's just fitting to me. It's perfect.
Yeah, the colors and it just looks like it's got it together. It's really cool. It's calm. It knows what it's doing.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a good pen.
It's perfect.
Yeah, it's just really.
Now, this one might be my favorite of the bunch.
I know. I agree.
Go for it.
Okay, so for Yoda, the only thing I don't like about this choice is that it's a little tall for Yoda.
If it had been a smaller model, it would have been chef's kiss.
We got the Estabrook Model J in palm green. Just this color combo, it's unbelievably.
It screams Yoda.
It's so Yoda. It looks kind of swampy. Just
perfect place for him.
And it's such an unusual looking pen too.
Agreed.
It's perfect. Okay.
Second to last, you can't have a single Star Wars movie without your stormtroopers. We have the Pilot Explorer in white with the black accents, perfect stormtrooper pen.
Brown thing at the top that's very, I don't know, it looks very stormtrooper.
I like the details of it.
It's a very cool pen.
You have maybe my least favorite pen coming up.
I thought this was your favorite character.
That's a stretch.
Well, we couldn't do this without mentioning our favorite guy, Jabba the Hutt. We picked the Monteverdi Trees of the World Boabab pen. It's a really chunky pen.
He barely fit into the case.
Barely fit. It almost looks, I don't know. I don't want to insult the pen, but it's got like almost so slimy looking.
It's got, let's just say it has very Jabba
qualities. It
qualities.
Doesn't feel slimy, but the pattern on
it.
It's so perfect.
It's like greasy looking almost. And very fitting for Jabba, for sure.
Slug. We did have one honorable mention pen.
Yes, we did.
Oh no, did you put it over there, but we'll show it.
I'm sorry.
We thought you say it.
I'm failing to remember.
The sailor.
Ah, yes.
The new sailor.
Sorry. Completely had a brain lapse. We thought the new pen of the year, the Sailor Pen of the Year in Celestial Gray, would make for great opening credits.
Yeah, it looks like that opening crawl with all the stars.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was perfect.
We really got into this topic.
Hey, may the 4th be with you.
Of course, may the 4th be with you too, Leila.
Thank you.
Leila, we forgot something.
Oh, no.
The mailbag.
The mailbag. I'm sorry, Laura.
We had 2 new letters.
We certainly did.
Pull them out.
All right, I'm grabbing this one. This one is from Clark. I'm going to mispronounce this. Frolic or Fralic, I don't know.
Oh,
but our buddy Clark.
Yes, Clark. Oh,
yes.
Yes. Oh, I remember when we opened this one.
This was great.
Yes, we enjoyed opening all of these so much. Wait, you forgot to mention. There's a really cool scuba and shark looking stamp.
I do like
here,
that, yeah.
And a butterfly stamp, and really beautiful washi tape, and a thing that says snail mail.
And on the back.
And on the back.
You've got Happy Mail.
Mm-hmm.
And Clark also included this picture of the eclipse for us.
Oh, yeah, that's so cool.
Very neat.
Very cool picture. I'll have to take a close-up of that.
All right. Dear Leila and Laura, thank you for the entertaining videos. I enjoy watching them regularly. It must be very fun working together.
It is.
The topic in your last video got me to look at and contemplate my pen collection in a new light.
That.
Just the other day, I was staring at a pen and it reminded me of a stream I played in as a child. Many of my pens evoke memories of places I've been or would like to visit. Can a pen help you time travel?
Wow.
I love that.
I love this whole letter. Wow.
My pens are mostly colorful and swirly, mostly blue, green, or a combination of those colors.
Sounds like you'd like his collection
I certainly
a lot.
would. I do have the occasional pen of orange. What is it with orange pens anyway?
Orange pens are joyful.
They
That's what it
certainly
is.
are. Anyway, I did ask my kids to help me write a haiku about pens. I teach K through 4 art in a public elementary school.
Wow.
It's a little cheesy, so grab a glass of wine and enjoy.
We love cheesy.
Absolutely. Gazing at my pen, swirling color and shimmer, lost in time and place.
That's not cheesy.
That's not cheesy. That's perfect.
That's beautiful.
I love that.
Wow.
Anyway, thanks again for all you do for the pen and stationery community. Maybe someday we will meet. Until then, all the best, Clark. He used Colorverse Supernova, and the pen he used was Florida Sunrise from Tailored Pen Company.
One of my favorite inks.
Yes.
I love this letter.
This letter
It
was delightful.
Yeah, and so thought-provoking
Yeah.
again. Oh, wow.
It really resonated.
Yeah, I'm
with
glad
me.
you read that again because I remember how much I loved it the first time we read it. And then I
Right.
have a terrible memory, so I forgot what it was about, and I got to experience that wonder all over again.
Yes.
I just noticed there's a little sailboat on the washi tape.
Oh, how
Look
cool.
at that detail.
I love that.
Wow.
And then we got a second letter.
What was the second letter?
From Eric.
Oh, Eric. Uh-oh.
That's right.
Do we have a translation?
I don't think so.
Okay, let's see.
We're going to try.
Hey, I like this stamp, too.
Yeah, the
Is
stamp
this
is
the
pretty
new
cool.
letter? This isn't the old letter.
I
is
think
it?
it's the new letter.
Okay. There's a really cool piece of washi tape on the back that has a narwhal on it,
Yes.
and a pufferfish, and a sea turtle, and a whale, and some
Under the
coral.
sea.
All right. Leila and Laura, a sonnet for you on the reverse of this card. I don't know what this says.
I'm going to try. I do so look forward to next week's installment of For Your Penjoyment.
Thank you, Erin.
This card, inscribed using a Retro 51 Tornado
Ooh.
buzz with a fine nib.
Uh-huh.
I remember when you got
Yes.
that. The ink is KWZ Honey. What else could one use?
I really like KWZ, even though we don't carry it, because it smells amazing, like
I didn't know
vanilla.
that. Ooh.
Yes, I love the smell of it.
Eric also used an Intero bang, which I appreciated.
Very nice.
Pen Spring. The cold of winter doth now abate to spring.
Okay.
Our warmed hearts in longer days now sing. Our inkless weld flows freely from our pens. Ideas withheld, now seen through altered lens.
Ooh.
Our will rekindled, to spread such thoughts now burns, to write, compose, and this word is escaping me. Such jots it yearns, I think. Warmest regards, Eric.
Sorry, Erin.
I'm sorry, Eric. But thank you so much
He
for the
read this
poem.
to us in the store.
Right.
And we got to hear him read it, and it was really great.
It was
But
really
then
great.
We forgot what all the words
I know. I tried really hard. I hope you like it.
That was a big fail. But oh well. We did our best.
So if you feel compelled to send us some mail, I'm going to post our address below. Feel free to tell us what pen you're using, something special about your day. Write us a poem if you're compelled to do so.
Draw us a picture.
Draw us a picture.
Yeah.
Tell us what pen and ink. Just have fun with it. We would love to read it.
And our apologies ahead of time if we have trouble with your handwriting.
And on that lovely note, that concludes our episode of For Your Penjoyment. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to be reminded of when we post new episodes. And on that note, it was a pleasure, Laura.
As always.
Keep writing, and we'll see you next time.
Wow, that was fun. That was fun. You're so easy to talk to. It's like, yeah, wow.
Thank you. Yes.